So most of us focus more on other people's flaws than our own, because it keeps us from facing what we need to heal. And Jesus exposed this with the speck and the plank. Your obsession with someone else's behavior is often a distraction from your own transformation. But God doesn't deal with us like that. He gives grace, not condemnation. And when we judge people harshly, we put them back under the law, even though the word already judges between flesh and spirit. Our job is to remind people of who they are in Christ, not who they're failing to be. And what's even deeper is this: God doesn't judge people on the same timeline we do. When he told Abram that the iniquity of the Amorites was not yet full, he was showing us something about divine justice. God doesn't judge based on partial information. He doesn't judge on assumptions, and he doesn't judge on first impressions. So then the question is, why does he wait? Well, he waits because real justice requires the full truth to be revealed. He waits because love requires freedom, and freedom requires that our choices be allowed to mature. He waits because premature judgment creates spiritual infants instead of mature sons and daughters. He also waits because righteousness and wickedness grow like seeds, and seeds have to reach maturity before their fruit becomes obvious. And he waits because maturity requires humility, being open to others' perspectives, not just your own. Jesus confirmed this pattern in the wheat and the tares when he said, if you pull things too early, you harm the wrong thing. In the talents, he showed that what you steward multiplies and what you bury diminishes. So some people think it's unfair when the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, but Jesus showed that neglect and fear bury potential, and action and courage multiply it. Divine patience isn't apathy, it's accuracy. And so time reveals these motives, and time also exposes truth, and time matures character. Time also removes every excuse. So now this begs the question, because people will often say, but God judged instantly in the Old Testament. Well, I think this is what we're missing. God wasn't different back then, the covenant was. So we have to stop saying God was different. In the Old Covenant, holiness was external and lethal because sin had not yet been atoned for. Does that make sense? That's why Uzzah died when he touched the ark. Israel carried the ark the same way the Philistines carried it, instead of on the shoulders of priests as God commanded it. You see, that's the difference. So they handled something holy using the world's methods. And under that covenant, God's presence could not coexist with disobedience because there was no mediator. But under the covenant, God's presence lives in us. Holiness no longer kills, it transforms. So Jesus took the judgment Uzzah faced. So if God himself no longer condemns us through the law, why are we so quick to condemn each other through assumptions and premature judgment? Does that make sense? Let me know down in the comments. Always remember to find freedom from within, mindfulness for a secure mind.